Welcome to part 2 of the Pōhiri element, planning and relationship building to engage effectively with Māori communities. This video focuses on initial meeting with a community and starting to build the relationship.
The Pōhiri process is about engagement between two parties, Tangata Whenua or hosts, and manuhiri, visitors. When meeting for the first time, it's important to understand cultural protocols and conduct yourself in a way that respects those protocols. Being respectful starts with acknowledging the mana or authority of the community. They will naturally take the lead in the Pōhiri process. Your role is to become an expert observer. Resist being pushy or eager. Observe carefully and listen to others. Ideally, have a support person with you who is a competent speaker of Māori, someone that can participate in cultural protocols and guide you safely through any scenario, whether it's a full-on Pōhiri, a smaller welcome or a less formal meeting with one or two people in their office. Whakawhanaungatanga, or making connections, is a core value within Māori culture. The hosts will want to know where you are from, or in Māori terms, whose waters you descend from. Make the effort to learn a simple introductory greeting. Ensure your pronunciation of Māori words is spot on, and a short song, waiata, to support your support person. This is part of building your capacity as a sexual and reproductive health promoter and your organisation's health literacy. Tread gently. If you are Māori, use your own pepeha or tribal saying to introduce yourself. If you are Pākehā, you could use the pepeha formula to introduce your ancestors, the ship that brought them here to Aotearoa, and the mountains and rivers of their lands of origin. Reciprocity is another important Māori cultural value. At the first meeting, you could offer to share any reports, evaluations, or de-identified data that you or your organisation have collected about the community. Such a gesture is likely to have a positive response. Far too much data about Māori communities has never been made accessible to them. Resist having an agenda when meeting with a community for the first time. At this early stage, your purpose should be simply to start to build a relationship.
Remember that you are manuhiri, a visitor in the Pōhiri process of engagement. As a visitor, certain protocols must be observed. Respect the community's right to self-determination and control over their own health. Acknowledge and respect that Māori communities have their own leaders, knowledge holders and expertise. Don't presume to talk about or on behalf of the community. Let the community speak for itself. Don't assume that because they agree to have a meeting with you, the community automatically wants to work with your organisation. There is a Māori saying, harore rangi tahi, the mushroom that only lasted one day. Don't be that person who gains access to the community, gets what they need, and is never seen or heard from again. Become a familiar or known face, someone who calls in often just for a cup of tea, brings biscuits or bakes a cake, who turns up at community events just to enjoy the event and has no agenda. Strive to become known as someone consistent, reliable, who says what they mean and means what they say. Taken together, these traits build trust and credibility and will ultimately lead to effective engagement between sexual and reproductive health promoters and Māori communities. Key points to remember. The Pōhiri element stage is critical to building respectful relationships with Māori communities. Respect the mana of the community and become an expert observer and listener. Respect the integrity of whakawhanaungatanga. Know whose waters you descend from. Bring a skilled and experienced person to help you navigate cultural protocols. Sharing information of interest to the community is a positive gesture of reciprocity. Being transparent, consistent, and reliable in what you say and do builds trust and credibility, the basis of effective engagement.